All right, perfect. Let's go.
Seen. Superior firepower is good.
All right, we're Sojourn.
But superior
Team 2.
brain power is
Saria, Kiriko, Sojourn, Widow, and whatever the fuck your last one's gonna be. Enemy team has Roadhog, Mercy Ash, Wife Lever, and Hanzo. Ooh, Team 1 has some.
Jogging with me.
We will see.
Team 1 has a weird comp right now. Team 1 has a weird comp right now. Also, you're banned. You can't vote on the prediction, and if you do, we have to cancel it.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Let's get this done.
Okay.
Not so fast.
Harassing a little bit. Remember the range of the hook.
Railgun powered and ready to fire.
Did ads actually happen? Are there actually ads? Okay, well, we'll wait. Chat, we will wait. We will wait for these lovely human beings. And in the meantime, I will give you guys a banger. For those who are subs, I got you. Okay, it seems like ads are done, chat. Seems like ads are done. We ready to full send it? Let's do it. Pause the music. Perfect. And let's go. So, here's one thing a lot of people tend to do wrong with Sojourn. They treat Sojourn like she kinda is... How to explain this? Like, I feel like a lot of people treat Sojourn like she's kind of like a widow. Sometimes even like a soldier or a co-player. The main issue here, what I don't like that you're doing already, is one thing. Here, let me go back just a little bit. So, I mean, you watched me play Sojourn on this point so many times, okay? There's a reason why I never play down here. There's a reason for that. I always play up here. And you want to know why? Because right here, your head hitbox is covered, so you can't get one-tapped, right? Right now, in this particular case, the payload is moving, right? No one's stopping the payload. Your tank is in front. There's no need for us to get aggressive here. No need whatsoever, right? Right here, what you want to do is you want to stand on top of here and do as much damage as possible, right? But we don't need to play on the low ground because we're enabling ourselves to get randomly one-shot by a character like Hanzo, and that's exactly what happened. You dying here essentially forces a 5v4, well, a 5v3 in this case because your Ana just died. So at this point, you're already wasting useful time where we can spend all this time just building ultimate and maybe get a rail kill if someone tries to push you. But the reality is, there's no need for us to play down here. We need to be smarter about how we position ourselves, and this was not ideal. And another thing is, Sojourn doesn't get extra railgun charge by shooting someone in the head. So there's no need for you to actually try and get like a head position here. So I would rather you play up here, play it safe, and if the hog peeks, you can just dash backwards here and you're safe. If the hog wants you, he has to walk through all this entire way to try and get to you. I kind of just want to point that out. There's a reason why I always play up here. So try and mimic that as best you can.
What am I missing?
Close.
Area denial.
Nice kill.
On your toes, soldier.
We go high ground. Yep. Perfect positioning. Okay, chat. Before I point it out, I'm gonna let you point it out. What just happened here that I don't like? What just happened that I'm gonna point out right now? What just happened here that I'm gonna point out? I'm just gonna allow you guys to figure it out first. Sonic and Peak. Thank you. So, you're banned. We heard the Sonic arrow, right? Not only did we hear it, we also saw it, okay? In this particular case, we bait projectiles, right? And it's okay if you learn the timing between Hanzo arrows and not. Like, learning the timing of when you can peek and when you're safe from the one shot is okay. It's a little bit tricky. Takes a lot of practice. But hey, I believe in you. But there's a Sonic arrow literally right on the wall that we're standing at, okay? The one thing I'm scared of is the fact that Hanzo might get a lucky headshot on you. But also, the scary part of this is that they have an Ashe and a Mercy. And you peeked when they're literally looking at you. Right? You dying here effectively resets the fight. We should not be reckless here. Because if we die here, we allow them to recoup and actually get their hog back, and then all of a sudden your team is now playing a 5v4. Okay? So we need to be smarter about this. I don't mind that you use the sonic arrow as a means to kind of like bait projectiles, because if they're shooting at you and into the wall trying to get you, and you're safe, that means that your star is taking no damage. And I'm okay with that. So we need to be a little bit smarter. What I like to do, and this happens multiple times over and over, is if there's a sonic arrow where I'm at, I move back, right? And I will play over this angle right here. And I will hold and wait until I see any type of enemy movement. If I see nothing, I go and peek down. I go here. I listen for footsteps. If I hear them on the other side, I will throw my E around this health pack, but I will not reveal myself. I will still use the wall as a protection, and then I will walk right back up. This just puts more pressure on them, and it forces them backwards. So the next fight will happen in the choke over there, right? That's okay. But, I mean, look at this. The sonic arrow is literally right above you, right? So we need to play a little bit more, you know, a little bit more safe, slightly less reckless.
Breaking them down. Coming through.
His hook is off cooldown in 1 second. Okay. Okay, he went for the widow. Yep. We run. I mean, sound cues in this game is one of the most powerful things you can have at your disposal.
I'm not a fan of
Everyone should learn all the sound effects and what kind of sound they make. That way you don't have to see it for yourself, you can just listen.
area denial.
Good positioning.
This ends now.
I mean, we tunnel visioned, and that got us hooked, and that led to us dying. If there's one point of feedback I want to give you, is that don't tunnel vision. Just don't tunnel vision like that. That's the one. The positioning was okay. The positioning was fine. The ultimate was fine. It was just the problem is that you tunnel vision the Hanzo, and when you didn't get him, you ignored everything else, and you got hooked. You need to have a little bit more patience on that. I see what you wanted to do. I see it. Listen, I understand why you did what you did. I do understand. But in a situation like this, where their main tank is dead, right? They have a life weaver to your left. You need to regain composure, and you need to take high ground on your side, not on their side, okay? I take this high ground when I know there's no one here, right? When there's no one here, the fight's about to happen, I take this high ground because they're forced to deal with me. They have to deal with me. And if I can get half their team to look back at me, that means I'm most likely winning the fight, right? Because that means my tank is not suffering any pressure and he can just walk forward, right? And in this particular case, I don't like this for many reasons. One is that you might get caught off guard like this. You might get hit. You might die. If you die here, then again, we're making it a 5v4 when their tank is dead, making it effectively a 4v4, right? It's not a good idea. We should never end up in a situation where we're trading a DPS for a DPS. That doesn't really gain us anything. Especially if we know that the positioning that we're taking is going to kill us, right? We need to get that kill, right? If we don't get the kill, we're literally throwing our life away. And we need to do better than that. So, if I were in your shoes, and, you know, I played this map, you know, maybe once or twice before. And, you know, I have about 19 minutes of playtime on Sojourn, so I'm kind of an expert. But here, you have a perfect opportunity with Roadhog being dead. You can throw an E up there and make sure that the Hanzo can't pressure. That's fine. Now, you have a life reaver on the left, but what I would have done instead is I take high ground here instead. I take it right about here. Okay? Means you have an incredible overview of what's going on, right? It's not your job to push the payload, right? You can let a support or anyone else do that, but I would have taken this position right here. High ground is king. And this is arguably the best position right now to take. So when you push an E there, you force the Hanzo back, he has to relocate, there's a life waiver right there. The fuck is he gonna do? He's not gonna do damage to you. And you can just harass him for days, right? So, you know, I just want to put it out there because right now I'm seeing a lot of positional errors. And I kind of, you know, you said go hard on me. So I am gonna go hard on you. That's why I'm like really hammering down these positional errors right now.
60 seconds remaining.
Clear out.
We're outnumbered. Stay sharp.
Recalculating.
I always use the railgun as a finisher, Curry, if that helps you.
I want that payload moving. Stat. Not so
30
fast.
seconds.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
We're out of time. Attack.
Good. Use the Kiriko boost here. Hanzo to your left, by the way. Nice. Okay. There was a Hanzo behind you there. I got a little bit worried because that Hanzo's been hitting some haymakers. So we need to pay a little bit more attention to the Hanzo. But other than that, it's okay. Sorry, Chad. My allergies are flaring and I'm sneezing a lot lately. I apologize.
Thanks.
Again, we're not really like I knew this was gonna happen because I can hear the Roadhog go all the way underneath up the staircase, going up on your left side, and we kind of just realized a little bit too late. It's a tad bit too late that he's coming around.
Breaking them down. Do something.
We're dead. Yep.
No sweat. Just need a new plan.
44. Monka. Monka.
Thanks.
60 seconds.
Not so fast.
Okay, good pressure. I don't mind that. You understood that his heal was off CD.
This ends now.
Nice. I would have liked a better position on that E. A lot better positioning on that E. Coggers.
Overwhelming.
The payload has reached the objective.
You're falling apart.
Good. You waited. You waited for the arrow to shoot and then you peek. Okay, it's a lot better. It's a lot better right now. I like what I'm seeing.
That's the stuff.
Greetings.
There's a point of feedback I'm gonna bring after this round is over. Something that you're not doing right now, and it's kind of pissing me off.
Thanks for the help.
Cause I know you can do better.
Breaking them down.
Fucking ready.
60 seconds.
Railgun charge.
Yep, that's right.
Come on, let's move this payload. I'll make it worth your while.
We need better positioning on the E's. Way, way better positioning. I'm not happy with them. Fucking PP Mercy. Nice kill though. I would say that's worth it. killing a Mercy over yourself there, way worth it. I'm okay with that. Go top left. Go top left. E first. Yep. He's choking. Very good. Watch out. Watch out. Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
Can I hear your thought process about one thing? Okay. So when we were up there, right? You kill the Ashe, right? You get her. What's your decision making behind leaving high ground there? Can I ask you? What's the decision from leaving here? Cause look who's in front of you right now. Why would you leave high ground? I kind of just want to hear your thought process, like what happened here. Because you killed the Ashe, right? So the main threat and the damage is gone. You're at 70% HP. What are you afraid of right here? You're afraid of getting logged. But we already knew before jumping high ground that Hanzo was playing low ground though. We saw him on the right side. Right? Point is, when you walked down, why didn't you flank? Like when you jumped down, right? You started shooting the hog who was ulting. Okay, fair enough. But why didn't you just take this position right here instead and start harassing, the backline? I'm just asking. I'm just asking because I know you're a good player. So I just want to ask what your thought process behind you not flanking here. I just want to hear it. That's all. Pause chat. Pause chat. Pause chat. Any minute now. Any minute. Any second. It's coming. I know it's coming. I just fear the Hanzo a lot. So you being scared of the Hanzo is making you not wanting to flank here and start harassing the healers. Okay. I mean, okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense to an extent. We'll talk about it after. We'll talk about it after. I don't want to get too hung up on that, but yeah, I just wanted to know.
Gonna need a new paint job after this. Dodge this. This ends now.
Taking flight. Round 1 complete.
Greetings.
Score 0-2. Switching sides.
Nice try, nice try. Okay.
Initiating match.
So, the number one feedback that I have right now that you're not doing, right? The number one thing that I'm saying is that you're not using the main tank as a source to build your railgun at all. Right now, you're building railgun, but you're also using it on the tank constantly. I would like a little bit more diversity, okay? What I mean by that is that, so the way I treat
All of us.
enemy tanks in general
Make sure you're
is
ready.
a very easy
Who knows
way
what
for
we'll
me
find
on
out.
Sojourn to build a 100% railgun charge, right? I will shoot them in the head with the railgun if I can guarantee it, and if I know that there's an offset that they might die.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll do it 100%. But
Surviving.
the reality is that right now we're not
Doing much
really
better.
We're not
Now
really
that you
building a
aren't feeding her
railgun for the
scraps
purpose
all
of
the
trying to
time.
snipe other targets, right? And I like to see a little bit more of that. You know?
Keep in sight.
I tried to farm the hog for rail. Okay, then we're just not doing it enough. I want to see more of that. It should be constant. You should almost be looking for the hog constantly.
1.
And we also need to maintain the rail a little bit as well. I want to see more of that. Right now I feel like we're kind of building rail on the hog, but we're using it for the hog as well. I would like to build the rail on the hog and try and kill a support. Fucking Hanzo with the asthma attack, dude. Holy shit, dude. Calm down, dude. Oh, that is a GM Anna right there in the flesh. Yeah, you're banned. Stop juking your Anna, dude. Fucking dickhead. She's just trying to heal you. Careful. Yep. Ah, careful. I don't wanna... Okay. Back off. Yeah, this is bound to happen. So once again, right? The way you gotta understand how to play Sojourn on these points, right? Is that okay? So I don't have to actually pull up Paint to explain this, but like in a scenario like this, right? Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked. In a scenario like this, what you want to do, right, is if they are coming around this corner, right, and you're standing out in the open, you're the person they're going to look at, right? And we're making it a little bit too easy for the enemy team to sort of figure out where we are, and you know, we've kind of died to random Hanzo one-shots like maybe 3 or 4 times this game, and I feel like they could have all been slightly avoided. You playing up here right now is too scary for me because not one, you're not touching the cart, so you're not stopping it, right? And if you're not stopping the cart, there's no need for us to be out in the open like this, right? Because we are the ones we are the one they're gonna look at when they come around the corner here, which is exactly what happened. You know, a random lucky Hanzo got you, and now you're dead. So how do we play this? Well, I mean, you guys have seen me play this point a lot of times, and you know, as a Sojourn right now, when they come around this corner right here, and I know that they're around here, I don't take the fight out here. What I do instead is I walk up the stairs right here, and I sit here, and I wait for my tank to engage. When the tank engages, I pop out of high ground, because now all of a sudden, the pressure is on them, not on me, okay? Now, they have to hit their shots, because if they don't, I will get infinite value, right? I can do whatever the fuck I want from this location. I can shoot wherever I want. I can build my railgun on the Junker Queen, and I can just pour right clicks into them from afar, right? They're all within the fall-off damage range. So it's kind of like you are rotating with them. Does that make sense? So like when they come around this corner, you want to play kind of like this, right? So if the cart is standing you right in the face, I mean, you can kind of play around this car right here. But once this cart starts coming around the corner, we need to rotate with it. And obviously, the position that we end up in is up here, right? And if there's anyone who dies in their team who needs to come back and join the fight, you have a full overview of what's going on. And most likely than not, you put it down at a well-positioned E right here, you block them from coming out, they've been forced to go on the left side, and now they are right in the open, and you get a free kill, right? So, for this particular case, it's once again it boils down to a positional error, right? So when the card is rotating like this, we take high ground. And why do we take high ground, chat? Why do we take high ground? Because high ground is king. Precisely. That's it. High ground is king in Overwatch. High ground is broken, it's overpowered, and we should always find ways to abuse it. Constantly. And right here, you're in a perfect position to deal some major damage. Standing out in the open, when we're not even touching the cart, not really ideal, right? So anyways, back to the game. Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked.
Coming through. I'm not a fan of setbacks.
Does that make sense to you, though? Band? Does it make sense? Or do you need me to explain it further? It does? Okay, good.
Area denied.
Better positioning on the E.
Railgun powered and ready to fire.
Okay, Hanzo to your left. Yeah, you gotta watch out. Yeah. Okay, get healed and take high. Okay, that works. Again, I want to point this out because we're not doing this, right? So imagine if you took the extra second and you went high ground instead here. Imagine, right? We kind of shifted forward, right? Because our Ramata's going forward. But imagine if this entire play played out with you being up here instead. You know? It's just so much pressure, you know? It's so much more overview and just so much safer, right? I don't mind you actually doing that, but I feel like we should kind of abuse high ground a little bit more.
I am on fire.
You're falling apart. Maximum
Okay.
firepower.
Good kill.
Good effect.
Doesn't high ground also make an easy target? No.
One of our enemies is being revived.
I always say it's harder to look up than it is to look down. Generally speaking, FPS games aside, high ground is always good. It's always busted. Okay, okay. Gotta watch out for the Hanzo. Gotta watch out for the
Gonna need a new paint job after this.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Clear out.
nice kill. Nice dodge.
With your wild.
We need, so what I've noticed is that you like to use your E a lot, like a lot, almost like you're pushing it off cooldown. I don't disagree with that. I think her E is a great tool for doing damage. However, if you're playing against a Mercy, you should try and not use it off cooldown all the time, because a lot of the time when you use it right now, is that it gets no value, like almost no value at all. Like we're not building any ult charge off it, we're barely getting any damage, we're not blocking pathways, we're not really doing anything with it. The problem with using a cooldown like this, like all the time, as it comes off cooldown, is that we're not allowing ourselves to make a play, right? And I think you know what that means, right? So like in a perfect world, right, you killed the Echo there, you have your E open, what do? You eat the res, right? That's what you do. You drop your bomb on the res, so the Mercy gets traded for her trying to rest the Echo, right? So the main issue is that we're constantly using it, which is not bad per se. It's just we're never allowing ourselves to actually make a play with her E, right? That's the main issue. That's the drawback. And when you're up against a Mercy, it's almost vital to sort of like pressure something, do damage to something, get a kill, and then sort of bait the rest in a way where, you know, they go for the rest, and then boom, you have the E available, and you just need to shoot her like 3 times and she dies, right? So kind of a little bit of a reminder. It seems to be like kind of a reoccurring thing in this game, is that we're kind of using your E like off cooldown all the time. And again, I don't disagree with it. However, you're not allowing yourself to make a good play when it's constantly on cooldown. Just want to point that out. No, you swallow the balls.
Come on, Vivian. Get yourself together.
Is Moira unskillful? Better question. Why the fuck are McFlurries smaller every fucking year I go to McDonald's? Fucking tragedy, dude.
This ends now.
Oh, this is aggression. Okay. Okay.
Breaking them down.
Got some fucking spark in you, my bro. Good shit. So, you know, it shouldn't always be negativity in VoD reviews, and here I actually want to commend you, right? You realized that there were 2 supports on the right side. You probably heard the Hans on the left, so he wasn't a threat, right? And you probably took the gamble knowing that you heard you heard echo, you heard a little shift thing. It was a great opportunity. Whether you heard it or not, I did. So you actually went in with a perfect timing there, right? The only thing that I would be careful is when you charge at a Life Weaver, if it's a really good Life Weaver player, they might make a play sort of like life gripping the tank onto you, and you're fucked, right? There's ads? Are there ads, chat? Okay, let's hold it then. Fuck it. I'll hold my feedback for when the ads are over. Let's play some bangers in the meantime. Wait, are ads over? Wait, was I talking while there were ads? Was I just late on it? So are the ads already over? Okay, we can start over. Yeah, okay, we can start over. That's completely fine. I remember exactly what I said. By the way, SK underscore. Thanks so much for the prime. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll take it all over again. Don't worry about it, chat. We got it. Okay. So, I don't always want to, say the bad things, but one of the cool things that happened here is I want to commend you on this because this was brilliant play, right? So, you come here around the corner, your cold eyes, right, to the Hanzo, and right here, you basically saw one of the DPS leave. You probably heard the Junker Queen on the left. The Hanzo is here on the left, focusing on whatever the fuck he's doing. You see the boat supports up here in the corner. You waited for your tank to move in. Your tank is currently engaging, right? And I want to commend you for this because this was perfect timing. Now, the Hanzo is focusing on your tank. You go up here. The one thing that you need to be a little bit more worried by is when you're up against a really good Life Weaver. In a case like this, when you pop your ultimate prematurely, you need to be a little bit careful because the Life Weaver might as well use life grip their tank up here, and then all of a sudden, you'll be traded, right? So we need to be a little bit careful for that. What I like to do in this particular case, the only thing that I would have done differently is that I would have waited a little bit longer. I most probably would have harassed the Life Weaver a little bit, get the HP down, build somewhat of a railgun, hit him. If I miss, then I'll shift in, pop my ultimate, and finish him off, right? That's the only thing I would have done different. But I think that from this play view right here, I like what you did. Perfect positioning. Kill him. Look on the left. The Hanzo's missing both of his stone arrows. Your tank is coming in from the side. Perfect pincher. Even if you die here, you win the fight, right? And that's the whole point. I don't know. I think this was a beautiful play. You just need to be a little bit careful with the Life Weaver. The better Life Weavers you go up against, the more life grips they'll do. And they could have life gripped the tank onto you there.
Efficient design at work.
Also, nice flicks. That was good. Chat, can we get a Pog Champ in the chat? That was beautiful. It's not all bad. I'm not the boogeyman. I will point out the good as well. That was a Pog you moment. Good on you, buddy. Yeah, be a little bit careful staying up here. Yeah, it's good that you replace yourself there. Don't want to stay in the same spot for too long. Push out for the Hanzo. Don't bother with the PP Mercy. Okay. I don't have anything against that E. You want to make sure the Hanzo doesn't push you as you're up on the right side. Okay. Good reposition. Ooh. Unlucky. Jumped a little bit too early there. Gotta let him slide the entire way. Otherwise we get stuck on objects like that.
Just what I was
Bald. Sonic arrow. Relocate. Gotta be careful. You gotta pay a little bit more attention to the Sonic arrows here, man. We died to them quite a bit. We heard it. We saw it. We gotta relocate. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, eat her ass. Suck his cock. Suck it. Yeah, suck it. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Good old. Good old, buddy. Good relocation.
Just need a new plan. Ramatra.
We are falling apart.
Kill the Hamster here and you're in a really good spot.
10 seconds.
Good flank. Really, really good flank. That tree is as useless as the character itself, dude. Life Weaver's a meme. Okay, beautiful. You got the dub. I mean, listen, we talked about, you know, we talked a lot about, you know, kind of how you should think about the payload, where you should kind of position yourself a little bit, how you should approach Hanzo and his sonic arrows, right? I mean, if there's one point of feedback I really want to point out is that we need to do 3 things a lot better. 1, don't you spam your E. Think about where you're positioning it, right? There's a lot of time where you just kind of just throw out the E for the sake of just throwing it out, and it's not really getting another value, you know? It's kind of just like there, right? And the problem is, if we're constantly using it off cooldown like that, we're not allowing ourselves to make a good play with it. So, you know, think about it as a denial of passage, denying other cooldowns, such as like rest and stuff. And for all intents and purposes, I like to use the E on the payload to put a lot of pressure on a lot of people trying to, you know, push the payload, because people generally don't like damage. They go, ow, 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 ow. You know what I'm saying? The other thing I kind of want to point out as well is that I feel like we're not, I mean, you said you did, but I feel like I'm not seeing it enough. We're not really using, you know, their tank as a means to build a rail, right? I like to see more of that. You know, having Sojourn with 100 rail makes people afraid, right? I think a lot of people in chat will agree on this. If you see a Sojourn with a fully charged rail from the distance, you think twice about peeking, right? You do think twice about peeking. You have to. Because if you don't, you might just get one-tapped. And you got to keep that in mind that, you know, a lot of the time, you know, when you have a fully charged railgun, sometimes the best tool is just to have it there so people are afraid of you, right? And we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. And I feel like that's mostly the reason why this Hanzo is just peeking you over and over and over again, because he knows that you don't have a charged railgun. He's not afraid of you. So we need to make him afraid. So that's another thing I want to point out. Also, we need to use the tank a lot more to build our railgun. Like, a lot. Like, I've talked about this extensively on stream before, and every single time I play Sojourn, you see this all the time. I use the tank mainly to build my railgun charge and to maintain my railgun charge, and if I see anyone else come in my field of view, I focus on them, right? The idea is that you want to hit someone like twice, and then you finish them off by shooting them in the head, right? That's kind of like how we play Sojourn. And I don't see enough of that. So I want to see more of that. I want to see more building railgun charge on the tank, and I want to see you do that a little bit more. Another thing is, I feel like we're not abusing high ground. Like, if at all. Like, the first point, in my opinion, is a great example of when high ground can be really useful for team fights. And while we did take high ground that one time, we did kind of position ourselves in a scary way where we're kind of fighting in the middle of a sonic arrow and the entire team is looking at you. I mean, let's disregard that from happening. But the reality is, I feel like we're not abusing it enough. And I feel like that a lot of the time, we can sort of utilize it a little bit better. And that's kind of how I would look at it. As for your ult usage, I felt like your ult usage was okay. I'll be honest with you. Most often than not, your ultimates did get a lot of value. So I have no quarrel or no negative things to say about it. I feel like more often than not, your ultimate got a lot of value. And I feel like that was the highlight of the game. Every time you pressed ultimate, you got value. So I'm not going to complain. For all what it's worth, I feel like you played really well. Like, I mean, it's not bad. Definitely work in progress. If I were to highlight what I want you to focus on, it is, number 1, better positioning and always abuse high ground when you can. And 2, if you're not stopping the payload, Stop fighting out in the open. All right, be smarter about your positioning. Use what map and the obstacles the map gives you, so you can hide and wait for your tank to go in. Right, and then last but not least, your E's. All right, I don't even know what the name of her ball sack is. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. We don't want to use it off cooldown all the time because it doesn't allow us to make plays. All right, so ultimately, it's all sort of equated into being an annoying cunt, right? Exactly. You point that out in chat. Okay, good. Perfect. I mean, there's a lot more I can tell you. There's a lot more I can say. It's like, hey, dude, you should do this and you should do that. But, you know, the reality is I feel like this is good enough. And I feel like this would, you know, probably push you to the next rank if that's what you want to do.